Prison officials say Evans' mother paid her last visit to her condemned son late yesterday at the Holman Prison execution row. What was discussed at the visit or how long she stayed at the prison was not told to us by state officials here today. At this point, the procedure for the execution is running along very smoothly, according to prison officials. The 29-year-old Texas lawbreaker requested that his last meal be a steak dinner, and state officials say that request will be granted today. What it all boils down to, unless the Supreme Court of the United States of Alabama stops this execution, or unless Governor Fob James gives a stay, John Evans will die tonight in the electric chair here in Atmore. Another thing is, Evans himself could stop it. He could stop it at exactly 12:01 tonight by telling the warden that he doesn't want to be executed. But as it appears now, he won't do that. This is Norman Lumpkin, WSFA TV News, Atmore, Alabama.
Look at John Evans. John Evans wants to die. He's clearly a man as self-destructive as he was destructive. And there's good reason to think that he's killed people like yourself and me in order to force the state of Alabama to commit a suicide for him. And that's very analogous to Gary Mark Gilmore 2 years ago, who was similarly self-destructive. And there are, unfortunately, a great many seemingly reasonable and rational, but in fact very pathological people walking the street who will commit murders of that sort and kill in order to force the hand of the state to destroy them, to kill them.
Do you, in part, agree with Mr. Evans that perhaps the worst punishment is life in prison with no parole?
No, I'm not in favor of the worst punishment. I'm in favor of rational punishment. It seems to me to make sense to keep people who are a danger to others out of circulation. When they are no longer a danger to other people, it seems to me to make no sense to keep 82-year-old men who committed a crime 60 years ago in prison for the last 2 years of their life. I think life imprisonment, which really means life imprisonment, unless there's a reason to fear that that person will continue to be dangerous, is equally as draconian, as unjustifiable, as irrational, and as brutalizing as the death penalty.
I propose that condemned men be allowed by law. The law be amended to allow them a choice of dying under anesthesia and experimentation at the set time as now prescribed, or pick the way the state says. Let the man choose. Keep the electric chair if you want. If you want revenge, keep the electric chair. Some men may pick it. Some will. But some men will pick the other way, to go under with a shot in the arm and experimentation. They don't lose anything. The minute the switch would have been thrown is the time we put them under with a shot in the arm. Then we do an experiment.
Okay, what arguments have you had against this proposal?
Well, most of them are rather crazy. The arguments they all bring up is the morality of death penalty. That's not relevant. I only say if you have the death penalty, if a man is going to die, if he has all appeals exhausted and he's going to die, give him this choice. The death penalty is irrelevant.
What about people who say the victim of the murderer didn't have a choice?
That's right, he didn't have a choice either, but that again is irrelevant. All the thing I'm doing is allows a condemned man the choice of giving something positive to the death penalty for the first time in history. Positive.
Have you had a chance to speak to Mr. Evans?
No.
Have you spoken to any members of his family?
No.
Have you spoke to the victim's family?
Just the father of the victim. I've spoken to 2 condemned men in Ohio in 1958. And then since then I haven't been able to get near a condemned man.
Okay, what do you plan to do after this particular situation here?
Well, I plan to work from the bottom up. I can't start anywhere else. I'm going to work with the condemned, their families, and with the victims and their families, because no one else will listen. Too much, they have nothing to lose. There's no hypocrisy at that level. All these people that I begin with, they're sincere. There's no reason for double standard anymore.